and we wrote a script. I think it was me or I wrote most of it, but you wrote some of it, and then we acted it out.
Even more backstory. We were kids. We were young. We had a lot of time. And we had a brand new video camera. So
Makes a difference.
basically, it just got worse from there. Explain
So,
the
the
Tarbark.
backstory of the Tarbark. We made up this character to basically be a menace, because we were menaces, and so we wanted to basically beat on this, character. We couldn't beat on ourselves, so we had to beat on this character. Just got that. So, Tarbark is an imaginary creature that we conjured up and we put it on paper, and basically it's just this scary monster that we were.
Describe it a little bit.
So Tarbark was a guy, not a guy. He's an alien, and he had
What's that?
pair of white undies under his head. And he was an alien out of this world, and he came down and visited us, and basically we beat the poo out of him.
Well, what happened was we caught him. We threw a leash on him. Is what happened. He was our pet, and we treated him like any other pet. We beat him with sticks and things.
It's horrible.
And
Like Adrian Peterson?
so there's someone among us who may have portrayed the Tarbark. He might be sitting next to me. So,
Very accurate portrayal.
any more to add to that?
That was the ugly stepchild, but no, I became the Tarbark with poo-stained underwear on top of my head. There was poop on the underwear.
Oh,
I
dude.
put them on,
So
not knowing that there was stains.
Clay, try to stay humble.
I'll do it for the show. Content, right?
They were pretty stained.
It was for the content. I wish we had the video to show you guys, what we all did, but basically Tarbark, we leashed him, we were in a van, and we were all just doing crazy wild stuff, and we at the very end, this is the very end, and then once the end of what we just get done saying, the story, me and Garrett kind of typed up a little story of the aftermath of where we left off back in Vegas. So basically the very end of when we left off in Vegas was that we were literally just beating the poo out of them. And everybody, and I got beat. I was Tarbark, and I got beat. Yeah, I was getting beat. At the very end of it, basically they just whooped him not to death, but they whooped him pretty good where basically that was it. That was the end of the shot, I guess. So we're continuing this.
Yeah, so we get an email out of the blue from Clay over here, and the subject is, what was it? Tarbark continues or something?
Tarbark 2.0.
Tarbark.
What was it? Clint?
Lives
The
on.
story. continues on or something.
Tarbark's revenge.
It's on the email.
Yeah, check the email.
What am I, an emailologist? Just make up a
You're the
video.
IT guy.
So
Come on.
I'm reading through the script. I didn't even know it was a script. I was just like, what on earth could this be?
It's not a script, it's a story.
And I'm at work, and I'm like, this is pretty good. So at the end of his, he has a ... And so I'm like, this is so dumb. So I put my 2 cents to it. I sent it to Kirk and Clint and got nothing. So the ... remains.
For anybody else.
Anyways, so we're gonna hand it off over to Clint now to read it for you.
Oh yeah.
And he's really good at dramatization and things. We need you to sell it.
Is there any rehab?
No needed.
Somebody give me a stick. I just need to get in the
And the
motion of
leash.
beating Tarbark.
And a pair of white undies. That would be helpful.
You got any white undies on? No.
It's like not exactly. Hold on. What movie is that from?
I want to compare how you compare these. I have not read this yet.
I have not read this at all. They sent me the email. I completely ignored it. Probably reported a phishing attack. But Clay wanted me to read this tonight, and I'm going to read it exactly as they wrote it, grammatical errors and all.
Those are probably mine.
I don't know where Clay's story ends and Garrett starts.
It's obvious. It's obvious.
Yeah.
The font is different.
The font, you'll see the font. It's changed.
I really hope there's a glaring difference because I have not read this yet, and it'd be really funny to see that. So, let's start.
Well, what's the title? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Tarbark, the adventures continue.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's what the headline was.
Okay.
Chapter 1. Slowly, Tarbark gets his bearings back after that heinous attack from the human species. Spices, actually. One thing he will always remember: never trust kids. After unwrapping his wounds, he saw the most were healed very hasty. There's a pause there. Yeah. After unwrapping his wounds, he saw that most were healed very hasty.
Excellent.
That is how it's.
Yeah, that's in there.
Hastily.
Given the circumstance that he has abilities to heal more quickly than humans. I'm reading this verbatim.
No, go ahead.
Even though he experienced the brutal attack in the city of Las Vegas, he thought about going back. Tarbark is not a very smart creature. However, he decided to venture on to Boise, Idaho, to start his new adventure in a new town that hopefully has all of his amenities to meet Tarbark's needs. He's high class now. Tarbark wanted to go to all the places that Tarbark wanted to go to all the places that his attackers had gone to just to get even. Although he didn't want to cause any more problems. He was willing to forgive and forget. So merciful.
So she's going for
Boise, Idaho. Boise, Idaho it is, exclaimed Tarbark. The first thing I need to do is get there. Unfortunately, he was still in hiding.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, he was still in hiding after the violent
Come on,
attack.
Jack
All
Reacher.
the capital letters. The word is a capital. After the violent attack he encountered in Las Vegas, Tarbark needed to sneak past state lines to make sure he was safe from anyone that wanted to hurt him. So he goes to the place where people had already hurt him. It's time to take my white undies off my head and look more like a human. Tarbark thought this was a great way to start looking like a human. Smart. He is a smart creature.
Yeah.
If only he had the idea to mask his face so nobody sees the creature. He needed an idea to cover his face. I got it, exclaimed Tarbark. Everyone in the world right now is wearing masks because of the virus. Tarbark is onto something. End of sentence. That was the perfect plan. Wear a big enough mask to hide his entire face and enough clothes to hide the rest of his body. Tarbark really has a great idea. Now that Tarbark is ready to move on to his new adventure, he now has to figure out how to get to Boise, Idaho. He has no way to get there, as he doesn't have any car, any money, and no friends. Surprising, Tarbark's so nice. Just a quick revenge trip. The friends he had betrayed him in Las Vegas. She even remembered their names. Tarbark remembered, and he said out loud, Garrett, Kirk, Clint, and Peter. He even remembered that child that was with him. He slightly remembered his name was Blake.
That's exactly.
But he couldn't remember if Blake actually hurt him like the rest did. Blake and I are cool now. The journey is tough without anyone to help him. If he wants to make it to Boise, Idaho, he needs to come up with a plan. A safe plan! Those were all in caps, so I had to sound. Tarbark remembered the tunnel system in Las Vegas and thought, what if I tool the tunnel system? What if I tool?
I thought you read this before. No.
What if I took?
Yeah,
They're close. Yeah.
Okay. What if I tool the tunnel system? What if I took the tunnel system all the way up to Idaho without seeing anyone? Good way to make friends. But Tarbark needed to realize that it's not going to be that easy without a flashlight to guide his way, or lack of food. Tarbark's food supplies had been depleted and was eating rats and vegetables to fill his stomach. Classic Tarbark meal. He would normally eat precious metals to get the most energy. He really liked eating gold. That was his favorite. He has been told that the most precious metals were bountiful in the higher elevation regions. That's why he needed to travel north to make it to Boise, Idaho. He has been told, while eating a rat in the Las Vegas tunnels, it's weird, the precious metals give him so much energy, but rats are really his primary diet. While eating a rat in Las Vegas tunnels, a young homeless human kid came up to him. Hey, mister. Tarbark looked at the human kid and said in a mean tone, yeah, what do you want? The kid acted as if Tarbark's tone didn't scare him, and advised to Tarbark, I'm only a kid. I can certainly tell you something wrong with you. Tarbark was shocked that through all of the clothes and the masks he was wearing, that the kid was able to notice he was irritated. So, kid, do you got a name? In a nicer tone. Oh, sorry, in a nicer tone. You got a name? In a nicer tone. The kid replied, yeah, Blake! The kid asked right back to Tarbark, what's your name? Blake said.
Is that the ...
That is the ... This is where it goes on to the next person I think. Tarbark said,
This is where Garrett takes over.
My name is the Great Tarbark. Then the tunnel suddenly lit up as if lightning had struck, and Blake could see the scarred face of Tarbark. His eyes turned red, and his face began to swell as he bursted out in laughter. Blake cried out, Tarbark! I remember you! Get over here, buddy, give me a hug! Exclaimed Blake. Exclamatory. The two in the tunnel shared stories of the good old days when Tarbark was once part of the Smith family until that horrible day when he was betrayed. And Tarbark was forced to defend himself by biting off Garrett's arm.
Let me explain.
Garrett's arm. He remembers.
That's what we did.
He remembers. It was delicious. The two were mortified to recall that Tarbark was forced to fetch a stick and pick it up while obscene and mocking gestures were made behind his back. Oh. Tarbark never understood what those meant, but he felt embarrassment all the same. On his planet, a hip thrust was an act of war. There was this one time when two species of Tarbark were on the battlefield, and once the first Tarbark thrusted its hips,
It was the start of the battle. His opponent ripped off his own ear and threw it like a hand grenade and nearly destroyed the entire planet. And the Tarbark had to flee to Earth to escape the utter destruction of the species. There's some explosive ears. Some communication was not an issue there. It was at that moment when Tarbark told Blake of his plans to visit Boise, Idaho. The kid began to scratch his head for a moment and said, "Hey, I'm taking to Boise, Idaho. Animals inside. I'll take you to confront your adversaries. But you must do something for me first." Tarbark said, "I'll do anything. Anything. Could you maybe put this towel on your back?" Oh, it's supposed to be black. "Could you maybe put this towel on your back and tuck it into your shirt like a cape? You know, like the good old days?" Tarbark frowned. And then a few moments later, he complied with Blake's request. And then Blake said, "It's missing something." "Ah, yes. Put these on your head, too." Tarbark watched as Blake took out a pair of old, wrinkled undies with holes and the deepest, darkest color stains on them and handed them to him. Tarbark's mood began to change, and all of the anger he felt for so long came rushing inside of him again. He didn't know if he could control himself after being reminded of that nightmare. And so Tarbark, we don't know.
We will never know.
You got really mad at Blake, though.
You like when Blake was that Put it on your own.
Yeah.
He's like, I feel bad.
All right, good job.
Good job, Clint. Well done, Clint.
Very good.